a beautiful night here on the north side as we bring you Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Cubs welcome in the Atlanta Braves. It's the first of a 4-game series here on CSN. And great to have you with us along with Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. The Cubs have dropped their last 3. The Braves are playing out the string right now. Cubs in pretty good position in the playoff chase. So you get swept in a 2-gamer by the Tigers, but a chance to hit the reset button tonight.
Yeah, and the Tigers just blew into town and started hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They scored 25 runs in 2 games, had 40 hits, hit 8 home runs. Everybody went deep for the Tigers except for Dick McAuliffe. So the Cubs need a stopper, and they're going to hand the ball to Jake Arrieta tonight. He's been very good in that role the last couple of seasons. We're going to show you some numbers to support that. 24 starts after a Cubs loss the last 2 years. He's 12-3 with a 2.38 ERA. This year in his last 11 starts, quality work each time. He's 8-1 with a .135.
Young right-hander Mike Foltynewicz, who's from nearby Minooka, Illinois, will get the ball for the Braves. Arrieta tries to become baseball's first 15-game winner. Braves and Cubs are next.
Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIG-ATT. Mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Back here at Wrigley Field, the wind right now is blowing straight out toward right. It may shift, however, as the evening moves along. It's cooled off a bit here in the city. Kind of has that September flavor, even though it's only August the 20th. So Jake Arrieta gets set to work against the Atlanta Braves. Cubs took 2 of 3 in Atlanta in mid-July, coming right out of the All-Star break. And now the Braves starting lineup brought to you by Southwest. Nick Markakis will be in the leadoff spot. They are struggling in terms of scoring runs. Cameron Maybin's had a good year. He's in center. Freddie Freeman yesterday came back from his second DL stint. A.J. Brzezinski is in the cleanup spot. Adonis Garcia is playing third. Jace Peterson at second. Andrelton Simmons, one of the best in the business with the glove at short. He hits 7th. Michael Bourne recently acquired his second go-around with the Braves. And Mike Foltynewicz, the pitcher, will bat 9th.
Cubs defensively are positioned thusly. Schwarber, Fowler, Soler, left, center, right. Infield alignment of Bryant, Russell, Coghlan, Rizzo, third to first. Miguel Montero, behind catcher tonight. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Big Jake Arrieta. He's tied for the league lead in wins. He's 4th in the league in ERA. Top 5 in strikeouts, innings pitched. Just been a terrific season for him. So 14-6 with a 239 as he takes the mound here tonight.
Doug Eddings is a home plate umpire. Adrian Johnson at first. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at second. And Ben May is at third.
There's a whole Ivan Costello thing going there. He could be the umpire with the who's on first.
No, he may or may not. Yeah. Cubs trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Braves coming in from San Diego where they got swept. And away we go. Strike one on Markakis. Braves have been really bad on the road. They've been swept 7 times on the road. Just 21-43 overall. Diving stop. Rizzo and Arrieta covering. Nicely done for the first out.
Wind blowing out. There's some left-handed hitters in this Braves lineup, so you want to keep the ball on the ground. Jake Arrieta is very good at doing that. He gets a lot of ground outs, gets a lot of strikeouts. That always plays, and it really comes in handy on a night when the wind is blowing out. Nice pick by the big fella. Yeah, there's a 30-game spread for the Braves between their home record and their road record. They're 8 games better than 500 at home, but 22 below 500 on the road. They've lost 18 of their last 20 road games. And I was looking through their day by day earlier, and I believe they've won only 3 road series all season.
Freddie Gonzalez. In his 5th year as a Braves manager. They're ramping up to 2017 when they'll open their new ballpark. Two balls, no strikes on Cameron Maybin. Well, 2-1. 95 miles an hour from Jake. Working on a streak of 11 consecutive quality starts. 8-1 with a 135 during this great stretch. If he wins tonight, he'll be the first guy to get 15 victories in the majors. Rizzo makes the play.
The Cubs starting pitchers in the last 3 games have allowed 3 home runs each of those games.
Yeah.
So obviously a trend that you need to stop. Arrieta has allowed only 9 home runs all year. In that run you just referenced, 11 starts, just 1 home run in those 11 ball games.
And on top of that, the Braves have hit 74 home runs, fewest among all major league teams. But they get a little help with Freddie Freeman back. We did not see him in that series in Atlanta in July. He was on the DL. Missed 30 games with a wrist injury. Came back, played 10, and then got hurt again, an oblique. 43 games missed total between the 2 stints. Oh, 2.
Jake's second start against the Braves. He pitched in that series in Atlanta right after the All-Star break, and he pitched 7 shutout innings, allowed 3 hits, punched out 10.
Freeman held. Anecdotally, I can tell you Freddie Freeman hits a lot of line drives toward the middle of the diamond. And the Cubs kind of pinching that area with Russell and Coghlan. We've seen Freeman over the last few years hit a lot of lineouts to Cubs middle infielders. It's bounced foul. So 71 degrees. Just a gorgeous night.
Man. Good night for a dog and a beverage.
We'll be keeping a close watch all weekend on a big series in Pittsburgh. The Giants and the Pirates. The Cubs are trailing the Pirates, and they're ahead of the Giants 1-0 Pittsburgh in the bottom of the third. It's Jake Peavy and Charlie Morton matching up this evening. Cubs are 3 ahead of San Francisco, 4 behind Pittsburgh. Busy inning for Rizzo, and he makes all the plays, and that'll do it for the Braves. Coming up, Cubs against Mike Foltynewicz. But that's what happened to the Cubs against Detroit. Their Southwest starting lineup. Fowler has been red hot as of late. He and Schwarber homered last night. Chris Coghlan's been in a hot stretch. Anthony Rizzo cleans up. Chris Bryant 4 hits last night for the first time in his young career. Montero catches. He'll hit ahead of Soler. Moves down to 7. Arrieta the pitcher, and Russell the shortstop.
Bravos defensively. Boy, what an outfield they've got with Bourne, a natural center fielder, covering left. Maben's in center. Markakis had a long errorless streak. He's out there in right. And Len mentioned Simmons, maybe the best in the business defensively. Garcia joins him on the left side of the infield. Peterson and Freeman on the right side. A.J. Brzezinski behind the plate. And a big right-hander, Mike Foltynewicz, 23 years of age. 13 starts, 3 appearances out of the pen. He's combined to go 4-4 with a 5.61 ERA.
And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man, and as Dexter Fowler gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Ground ball to Peterson, the second baseman, and he makes the play.
Foltynewicz is a local kid from born in Sterling, went to Winooka High School. Is that how you say it?
Winooka. Yep.
When he was announced before the game, there's a large group making a lot of noise down there on his behalf. So there's probably some extra butterflies for him. Former first-round pick of the Astros. That was June of 2010. Number 19 overall. He's got a fastball that has reached 100 miles per hour. Sits comfortably around 95.
Another ground ball. Peterson knocks it down. From a knee, he gets it. Schwarber actually hurt his chances because he hit it so hard. Peterson had some time.
Off the end of his glove, but he rolls over and keeps it in the vicinity and able to recover and make the play. So if there's an early theme here tonight, it's ground balls to the right side of the infield. Braves hit 3, Cubs have hit 2 now. You see, Foltynewicz has been much more of a fly ball pitcher. Home runs have been an issue for him. He's only pitched 77 big league innings this year, but he's allowed 15 home runs already.
99 miles an hour. Up and out of the zone. And Chris Coghlan Well, that is crisp stuff.
Firm, as Joe would like to say.
Yeah, and he's obviously got to be amped up.
Yeah, I was in Houston when they drafted him, and they were very high on him. He was traded to Atlanta. The deal that sent Evan Gattis to Houston. And now that John Hart has taken over as the general manager of the Braves, that's kind of been the MO for Atlanta since Hart came on board. They're acquiring a lot of talented young arms. A split.
Spoiler there by Coughlin.
And I think Fulton Evich at a point in his career still doesn't have a lot of major league experience. He was up with Houston last year, made 16 relief appearances. If the Braves were in contention, they might be taking that big right arm and putting him down in the bullpen. But now that they're out of it, I think it's a chance for him to develop and work on his secondary pitches.
.6'4", 220. Facing the Cubs for the first time.
Throws that fastball on the first pitch about 75% of the time, so you got to be ready to hit the gas.
One on the ground. This time it's Andrelton Simmons. And each starter, 1, 2, 3, all ground out first. That fire engine, that truck survived 9/11. And here outside the ballpark tonight. And we also want to take the time to honor Michael Dernals of the Hammond Fire Department. Sadly passed away in March from colon cancer. Was an avid Cubs fan, and our sincere condolences to his firehouse, especially to his family, including his wife Tracy and son Trevor. A.J. Przinsky fouls away. He has had quite a year. 38 years old, 18th major league season. Hitting .350 since July the 5th. He's put up big numbers against Jake Arrieta. 7 out of 11 with 2 home runs.
Breaking ball from Arrieta. Przinsky is kind of a swing first guy. Doesn't walk much. Doesn't strike out very much either. lifetime 280 and change hitter, so he's one of those guys that has a plan when he goes up there, and he's willing to sacrifice power to put the ball in play with 2 strikes, as you just saw.
July 8th in Atlanta, he broke up John Lester's retroactive no-hitter with a leadoff single in the 8th. Markakis had reached in the first on what was originally called an infield hit, later changed to an error on Chris Bryant, hence kicking in that no-hitter in the late innings. It was rather dramatic, and AJ reveled in breaking up the no-hit bid.
I believe we had a shot of him saying, "Not on my watch."
That was most of it. He left out an extra word or two.
That was conveying the message.
Yes, that's true. I'm just saying in the guise of accuracy. Three and 2 on him. Adonis Garcia is on deck. That was a rough series against Detroit. Cubs allowing at least 19 hits in back-to-back games for the first time since the year 2000. As Coughlin play the one-hopper.
Another ground ball to the right side.
Here's Garcia's from Cuba, 30 years old. Signed originally with the Yankees. Was released by New York. This year in April, signed with Atlanta a week later. Made his major league debut in May. And right now he's holding down that third base position until Hector Olivera gets here. Olivera signed last year with the Dodgers to a huge contract. He's from Cuba as well. And the Braves got him in the blockbuster deal in late July. Olivera had a hamstring injury, so he's been on a rehab assignment. He just got promoted to AAA. He could be with the Braves as early as Monday. And it sounds like once he gets here, he's going to take over and play at third every day.
Yeah, well, there were people earlier this year clamoring for the Dodgers to call him up, as he was tearing it up in AAA. And he's not a kid, signed out of Cuba, a polished hitter. And the Braves, they had to go down the depth chart a little bit because they've traded 2 third basemen. Chris Johnson, Juan Uribe were here, now gone. Johnson to Cleveland, Uribe to the Mets.
And what does that say about the Dodgers? They gave Olivera prior to this year a 6-year deal worth $62.5 million, including a signing bonus that they paid out of $28 million, and then never even brought him up to the big leagues before moving him. That tells you they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Called strike 3. He didn't ground out.
Well, he's an outlier. He thinks outside the box.
So I guess the Braves had their eye on Olivera and had made him an offer.
What was the deal? I'm trying to think of the deal, the trade. So Jim Johnson went to the Dodgers.
It was Jim Johnson. It was Alex Wood. It was Luis Avilan. That was a big trade. So the Dodgers had to give something up to get what they got.
The Dodgers, it's kind of the thing where the Dodgers have spent so much money. I think they just get to the point where, well, we can't do everything possible to try to win this thing, so we'll just keep throwing more money at it if need be. And that was really when that new ownership group came in. I remember reading a story where Stan Kasten said, "Money is not an object. We will spend whatever it takes to get it done."
Bronson Arroyo, currently rehabbing from Tommy John, was involved in that deal as well. So Rizzo made 3 plays in the first, cannot knock down that ground ball, and Jace Peterson is aboard. Here is Andrelton Simmons. A premier defensive shortstop. Whatever he gives you offensively, you gladly take. He was a walking highlight reel, though, with the glove.
I think there have been some guys over the years that are outstanding defensively, and they just don't give you enough offensively, and they become backup guys. Simmons isn't there. I mean, he is enough of a hitter where you justify putting him in that lineup every day because he is so good defensively. Think about a guy like a John McDonald. Well, years ago, Rafael Belliard with his Braves club, defensive wizard, just didn't hit much.
And I guess kind of the question for the guys who crunch the numbers is how bad would he have to be offensively to not have him play every day because of his defense? They'll get the out at second. Baseball Reference, his defensive WAR already this year, he's been worth almost 3 wins. Scoreless early.
Is back. Stop by your nearest Illinois lottery retailer and play today. You could win up to $5,000 a week for the rest of your life. Cash for life. The longer you live, the more you get. Hey, what's going on there? Len Casper dress-alike competition?
No. I said no on that.
Mamas and the Papas, maybe?
Possibly. Yeah, that's got the late 60s vibe.
This is not a theme night tonight, is it, here at the ballpark? It's
No.
kind of a 90s thing coming up one of these days.
1-0 on Anthony Rizzo. Swings through 97.
Trying to lift that heater, try to take advantage of this wind blowing out to right, something that has rarely happened this year.
Bryant on deck. Here it comes. Ooh, outside corner.
Well,
AJ had to reach a little bit.
Look at that. The pitch tracks, the previous two fastballs that were called balls appeared to catch the inside corner. Certainly number 3 did. And this one well off the outside edge. I think that's Doug Eddings being influenced by Rizzo's proximity to the plate. So none of those inside corner calls he got because they were so close to Anthony. But Foltynewicz got the pitch off the outside part of the plate.
We'll bring up Chris Bryant. 4 for 4, a homer, a triple, 2 RBIs, 2 runs. Overshadowed because of the way the game turned out, 15-8.
That's the thing. Cubs gave up a lot of runs the last 2 nights, but they did a lot of good things too. You score 8 runs a night. And guys are getting the job done in the batter's box. So during the Cubs' 8-game winning streak,
9,
they allowed 28 runs. These last 2 games, they allowed 25. I'm gonna have to do the math again.
Did you only go 8 games back?
No, I started with the W. I got all 9.
Okay. I looked at this today. The Cubs have scored 6 runs or more in 32 games. They're 29-3. With 2 of those losses coming this week. Yeah, head scratcher. You're right, Joe. Joe had the best line after the game. He said, "I'm just glad it wasn't a 3-game series." The Tigers were swinging the bats.
That was some serious carnage. But today kicks off American Legion Week for Joe Madden. He closes the clubhouse. Nobody allowed to enter before 3 o'clock. Get his guys to spend a little more time at home, shake up the routine a little bit.
Both managers got into the spirit as Freddie Gonzalez, after the late night arrival from San Diego, they had a 4:45 team bus. So there was no on-field batting practice tonight. Less is more.
Freddie threatened to fine guys if they showed up before 5 o'clock.
1-2. And a couple of Cubs, I'll say a player or coach will be unnamed, tried to show up early today and no go.
They were met at the door by the guy from the Wizard of Oz poking his head out. Sorry. Go away.
Two balls, 2 strikes. It's funny, isn't it? How many other industries or lines of work where the boss would tell you you're banned from coming in. You know, take a half day. And people trying to sneak in the back door. Just can't keep themselves away. 3-2.
Yeah, well, you know, we're all creatures of habit in this game, creatures of habit. And guys just get used to that routine, and it's like inertia. You know, you get up, you have your coffee, whatever you do, and you go to the ballpark, go to the ball. And Joe said, you know, it can get stale. And so Joe's point, and Freddie Gonzalez as well, you got to just change it up a little bit.
Rizzo not running. Ball not hit hard enough that they will get one. That's a nifty little play by Simmons. I thought he might just take the out at first, but he had enough time to get Rizzo at second.
This guy plays every day. He's only made 3 errors all year. The last one coming sometime back in the middle of June. Moves through the ball, keeps the glove low, reads the play, has a great internal clock, knows he's got time. Quick little flip to second base to get the lead man.
By the way, I am speaking completely out of school here because I haven't done a lot of research, but looking just at some of the Simmons stats, I think he'd have to be a horrid hitter. I mean, almost pitcher-like to take him out of the lineup.
Yeah, well,
he's been that good defensively.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys where you check your bucket list of what you need on your team. Okay, you get an outstanding shortstop. Okay, now let's build around him. You know, we need to find a more offensive-minded second baseman, and you know, wherever you can add to pick up the slack for what you're not getting from him offensively.
0-2 on Montero. Hey, you probably noticed the hashtag Cubs Talk in the corner, upper right, here tonight, and we include hashtags in games from time to time. We're testing out whether or not we should keep them in for every game. So go to Twitter, hashtag Cubs Talk, and just give us a I like it.
What is it we're going to like or not like?
Got hashtags in the upper right corner. On your monitor, you can't see it, but it's there.
I don't see it.
So we're asking our viewers whether or not they like it. We've gotten pretty good feedback on the pitch tracks. And a swing and a miss, strike 3.
It's interesting because Fultonevich essentially pitching like a reliever. I mean, he's just throwing gas, one heater after another. Maybe his MO first time through the order, and then we'll start to mix in more breaking balls as we go along. But that's the beauty when you got an arm like this, especially when the hitters are getting their first look. You don't have to be too fancy. That's some serious Cholula he's running up there.
I almost said that is some hot sausage, but it's sauce. And if you say sausage, you kind of change it from sauce to encased meat.
Oh, there you go. There's a little wrinkle. A slide piece or a cutter. And so there's like, wait a minute, man. I want to hit the fastball.
Center. Cubs have their first hit, and Soler will get Arrieta to the plate.
Yeah, there he got his fastball, and he dropped the head on 99 like it was nothing. An elite fastball against tremendous bat speed. Soler with a sac fly last time up in the ball game last night, but prior to that, boy, he'd been ugly. 0 for 4, including couple critical situations where he failed to get runs home, grounded into a double play in the 7th when the Cubs had a little something cooking.
Strike on Arrieta. A triple and a home run this year. By the way, make sure on the hashtag thing, reply to Cubs Talk, not to me. I don't make the decisions, and people who need to see it aren't on my Twitter feed. So thanks in advance. It's like the Mr. Show, the old HBO sketch comedy show. They once did a taped call-in show, and the host kept reminding people as they called in. He said, "No, that was last week's topic. The show we're recording is next week's topic." It's great. Ground ball. Simmons has it. And the first show, he said, of course, we probably aren't going to get a lot of calls since we are recording this.
Coming to you live.
Nothing after 2. and the excitement here at Wrigley Field. Tickets are still available for the rest of this homestand, and as a reminder, the tickets from the original June 15th rainout are good for this Monday afternoon's makeup game with Cleveland. First pitch is at 1:05. As always, visit Cubs.com for tickets and the latest updates. That was the night the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Remember?
They were playing on the big board here during the rain delay.
1-0 on veteran Michael Bourne, who's playing left on his return to Atlanta. Came over on August 7th, along with Nick Swisher and some cash for Chris Johnson. Kind of an odd deal. Bottom line, I think the money ended up being a wash for the most part. And the Braves get a couple of guys who, I'd say more than likely, will not be here in 2017 when they open their new ballpark. So it's Bourne is signed through next year. He's got a vesting option for the year after that. Nick Swisher is also signed through next year. The problem with Swisher, though, JD, is he's got 2 surgically repaired knees, and if he can't play first base where Freddie Freeman is, I don't know where he could play. It sounds to me like he, more likely than not, would end up with an American League team.
American League, yeah.
Maybe trade him in the winter. Swing and a miss as Arrieta strikes him out.
Bourne went out of the zone with that low fastball, 95 down below the knees. Second strikeout for Arrieta. Didn't hit his spot. They were trying to go down and away there. He kind of pulled it. But he got his guy.
Fultonevich takes a strike.
Giants have acquired Marlon Byrd from the Reds.
They've got so many injuries in their outfield right now. Aoki, Pagan, and now Pence.
Pence went out with an oblique. Aoki's due to come off the concussion DL today. Pence went on.
Aoki is in their lineup. Yep, playing left. And they trail 2-0 in the 6th inning. He went, and that's a strikeout. Marlin has been a traveling man here these last few years. And he's now a San Francisco Giant.
Not hitting for average, but the power numbers are good. Obviously, it will be suppressed out in San Francisco, but still provide a dangerous bat. One they sorely need with all those injuries.
Markakis has hit mostly 3rd or 4th this year. He's in the leadoff spot, which is a good spot for him to see a healthy on base percentage. 9th in the National League coming in at 369. He only has 2 home runs, and his first one didn't come until July 20th, his 92nd game. First of a 4-year contract. And right after he signed with Atlanta, he had neck surgery over the winter. May have robbed him of a little bit of home run power. And to his right, that's Coughlin. Arrieta sharp here early on. He's given up 1 hit through 3.
If you're Bleacher fans 21 and older will receive a reissue neon Cubs hat in one of 2 popular colors. Fun 90s themed pop culture will be featured throughout the game. For tickets, visit Cubs.com. We'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on Windstream Communications in good old Grinnell, Iowa.
Cubs batting here in the bottom of the 3rd. Larry points out on Twitter the battery of Foltynewicz and Przinsky got to be closing in on a record, right? Just 11 letters in Foltynewicz, 9 in Przinsky. It's 20 letters combined. I mean, trying to think of the other side. Maybe Bob Walk and Milt May.
Ed Ott.
Yeah.
Saltalamacchia.
Ground ball, base hit in the left. And the leadoff man is on for the 2nd straight inning. So Addison Russell is aboard for Fowler.
See what the second time through the batting order brings.
Garcia in on the grass at 3rd. Fowler takes a strike. Fouled away. Well, 4-game series, there's a pretty decent chance we're going to see Edwin Jackson for the Braves. Recently joined their club. And back here at Wrigley Field.
Talk about conflict of interest. Look at playoff money if the Cubs make the postseason.
Right, yeah. The Braves dealt with that when they went to San Diego. Kimbrel, Upton.
But in this instance, Edwin would have a vested interest in helping the Cubs. He could intentionally tip his pitches.
There have been guys who've double dipped. That's going to be close. Russell just got back. Lenny Harris got playoff money in 2003 because he spent time with both the Cubs and the Marlins. Fowler has tied his career high in home runs. Number 13 last night. Got a 7-game hitting streak coming in. Deflects off the glove of a diving Jace Peterson. And the Cubs have 2 on with nobody out.
Two on, nobody out, and here come Schwarber, Coghlan, and Rizzo. Good try, but Peterson not able to haul it in. Back-to-back singles. Big chance here to get the jump on the Braves. Schwarber hit his 10th home run last night. He now has the 2nd best at-bat to home run ratio in Major League Baseball for guys with at least 125 plate appearances. Obviously does not have enough Playing time should be listed among the league leaders. You filter it down for that many plate appearances. Only Giancarlo Stanton better than Schwarber. Ooh. Got a break there.
He's got a 3-game Wrigley Field home run streak. 4 total. 2 against Milwaukee on the 13th, and then home runs each of the 2 games in the just completed series against Detroit. Didn't mean to that time. This was last week against Milwaukee. And a big 3-run shot 2 nights ago to get the Cubs back in the ball game, and this one just got out to center last night.
First 36 games, he's done some very impressive things, and he's in awfully good company. A little greedy there chasing that high heater, but you got to be ready to swing it when a guy throws as hard as Fultonevich does.
Popped him up. Infield fly rule in effect as Garcia makes the grab.
See the play of the highlight of Jason Bourgeois?
Maybe Jason.
Infield fly roll on an infield pop. You're always advocating for the play, the intentional drop, to see if a base runner will mess it up.
Yeah.
I don't think this was an intentional drop, but it was a whiff on the infield. I believe just to the right of the mound. And Jason tried to score and he was out easily.
Did we find out after the game if he knew the rule?
I didn't read any details on it. It just looked like a brain cramp.
Yep. I really think
he saw the ball drop and thought, well, hey, I can go.
Or I have to go, even though you run at your own risk. That play, I always look for an umpire, and once that arm goes up, the batter is out. He is out of the play. But 999 times out of 1,000, that ball, or even more, is caught. But it doesn't have to be. And the one other thing about catching or not catching is if you don't catch it and it gets away from you, that could be a problem. And the runners really could advance. I think a lot of guys would panic in that situation. Boy, Freddie Gonzalez is really letting Doug Eddings hear it.
Oh, here we ran him.
So Freddie will get his money's worth now.
Short night for Freddie, clearly frustrated. We saw that previous at bat with Schwarber. Eddings was squeezing him a little bit. Freddie advocating for his young right-hander. Doug is like pointing, look what he just did to my plate. Can you believe he did that to my plate?
Video.
He just said hi to Chris on his way by. I think they would have been together in Miami a little bit. That's good stuff. That's doing your job there. You're trying to get in the umpire's head a little bit, fighting for your guy, set his piece, didn't blow a gasket, and then says hi to the opponent on his way out.
So 2-0 on Coghlan, 2 on, 1 out. Scoreless tie here in the last of the third. Pulled into right and a base hit. Russell will be sent. Here comes the throw by Markakis. It is late. And it's 1-0 Cubs. Fowler advances to third on the play.
Third single of the inning. Not a whole lot of room there between first and second, but Coughlin able to hit that ball beyond the reach of Peterson. Sharply hit ground ball. Russell in with run number 1.
Drilled to deep right. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Rizzo.
You kind of feel that one coming. Fultonevich having a hard time locating. Rizzo likes to ambush that first pitch fastball. Boom, there's your Ford home run replay. That's number 24 for Anthony. Chatting with him briefly this afternoon, I pointed to the flag and said, hey, it's blowing out tonight to right, which almost never happens. And he said, yeah, I'll probably hit the ball on the ground 5 times. It's a line drive home run. Didn't need any help.
Having some fun with Eric Hinsky, Cubs assistant hitting coach. 4-0.
Sometimes the best pitching coach for a young pitcher is the opposing lineup. A guy like Fultonevich with his arm, there's probably a lot of starts in the minor leagues where he's not had to be that precise with his fastball just because he can overpower guys. At this level, sooner or later, they're going to catch up to you, and you find out that you have to locate even when you throw 98 miles an hour. Experience is the best teacher. Pitching coach can tell you, catcher can tell you, hey man, you got to get the ball down, you got to do this, you got to do that. Usually it's when you get knocked around a little bit by the other hitters, then you say, okay, got to go to plan B.
Hurt.
Judge Schmal's fan club in the house.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs. kick from this right-hander. It's 2-0. Fultonevich graduated from Manuka High 2010. Drafted out of high school by the Astros, as we mentioned earlier.
Same high school as Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson.
Yeah, he's really good.
They went there at the same time.
Nick is a big Cup fan.
Sang the stretch, didn't he? Last year, maybe?
I don't know if
I seem to recall him being up here.
Yeah. On the ground toward first. And Fultonevich will pick it up and step on the bag to end the inning. But 3 singles and a home run. And the Cubs lead 4-0 after 3. Time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthsideDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself later on in the ball game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. So normally you give Jake Arrieta a 4-0 lead and you're golden. But a long way to go tonight. We're in the 4th. He's given up just 1 base runner, a single to Peterson in the 2nd. Ball 1 on Cameron Maybin. Braves are the lowest scoring team in baseball, 3.67 runs per contest.
Dead last in slugging percentage. Middle of the pack in batting average. They don't strike out. They lead the league in that regard.
Right.
I
was going to say there are some people out there who have a hard time grasping the idea that strikeouts aren't necessarily an evil thing if your team does it a lot. There are a lot of good teams who strike out. And in the case of the Braves, they do make contact, but not enough of it has been good contact.
Yeah, they don't slug.
We just want to have it all, don't we? We want our team to hit home runs, to never strike out.
Never leave anybody on base.
Right. There's the payoff pitch, and it's bounced to third. Oh! Chris Bryant with a pretty easy play, and the ball snuck under his glove.
That's what you don't want to do, is open up the door here for this struggling team. They've been shut out, the Braves have, 5 times since the All-Star break. How many times do we say it when you see an infielder start to retreat? Bad things happen. Trying to back up and find a convenient hop that never came.
So he'll go over to the other side as they shift against Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, and this is obviously a important sequence here with Freeman coming up. He's their best guy. Pierzynski with very good numbers against Jake in his career.
I guess one question for now for Carlos Tosca, the bench coach. He'll manage the Braves the rest of the night after Freddie Gonzalez got kicked out. Maben has 19 stolen bases. You don't score a lot of runs. You're down 4-0, but you get a little more aggressive maybe with your base running against Arrieta. He's been fairly easy to run on this year.
Yeah, probably not right now because you got guys coming up that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. But depending on how this at-bat plays out in the next. And certainly with Pierzynski, I think you wouldn't mind starting a base runner. You'd count on him to put the ball in play. You get a little more swing and miss from Freeman. I'm sure what Carlos is thinking, he's hoping one of these two guys can knock one out of here or hit one in the corner. And a lot, of course, will be dictated by the math. The times that Terry Pendleton is getting on Arrieta's delivery home. If they feel like he's slow enough to home play where Maben can get the base easily, then they'll probably say, yeah, go get it.
And that's going to be a hit. A shift buster.
That's just gross.
For Freeman. Just dribbled it toward third, and no play for anybody. I don't know if I've ever heard of an infield hit.
Check this out.
Gross. Sounds like a pitcher talking.
Probably a good thing Jake didn't corral that one because he might have tried to do something heroic with it and there was no play to be made. Curveball is a good ground ball pitch for Arrieta to a left-handed hitter. Something with a heater, bottom of the knees at 95. But if you can get him to try to pull that backdoor curveball, might get a little ground ball to Coughlin, turn it into a double play.
The wind has kind of died down. Swing and a miss, 1-1. More than kinda.
I thought he called the first pitch a strike.
He did not.
Well, he should have.
Error and an infield hit to start the inning. The Cubs got 4 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Happens when a guy's had a little success against you. You try to find a little something extra to blow it by him. Misfire there from Jake.
Big crowd to kick off the weekend. This is the only night game of the series. 3 o'clock tomorrow and on Saturday, and 1:20 on Sunday. Another 2-2 ground ball. First base, Rizzo will fire to second. They get one relay in time. How about that? 3 to 6 to 1.
Well, he ultimately got that ground ball from Pierzynski, not to second base, but this works just fine. 3-6-1, executed beautifully. He sets his feet, good accurate throw to Russell, who clears Freeman. Jake does his piece.
Runner at third, Maben, 2 outs. Good play by Montero. Saved a run, at least for the time being. Slider missed, 2-1. I mentioned in the first inning, if Jake wins tonight, he'll be the first 15-game winner in baseball. Cubs have not had a 20-game winner since John Lieber, 2001. Called fastball 95, and he gets out of it. Looks around the error and the infield hit to start it 4-0.
Sunday, finale of this series. First pitch will be at 1:20, and the first 5,000 kids will receive a Cubs toy airplane presented by American Airlines. After the ball game, the first 1,000 kids 13 years of age and younger with wristbands will be allowed on the field to run the bases, weather permitting. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Well, that's a good hat right there.
Yep.
Good lid.
Solid work. Foltynewicz gave up a 4 spot. 3 on the homer by Rizzo. In his last inning of work, faced 7 hitters. Facing 7, 8, and 9, and that one lined hard to Garcia. So Solaire's hit it hard twice. It was an elevated breaking ball. 1 out.
Tough break for Soler. He was out before he left the box. That's how sharply that ball was hit.
Strike 1 on Arrieta. Before Foltynewicz signed with the Astros, he had committed to the University of Texas. He's going to pitch for Augie Garrido. Over $1 million. First round choice. Decided to go pro. Both parents threw him batting practice when he was young. Two and 2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner.
Yeah, it's always a difficult decision for a young guy when you get drafted out of high school, but when there's that much money on the line, it's awfully hard to say no. I mean, people would always advise, hey, college education, go to college. Well, waving $1 million or a couple $1 million under your nose, I think you got to go for it.
Russell singled and scored in the 3rd. In fact, he led off the inning with a base hit. Drives this ball to very deep left, and it will go. 5-0.
Young man is on the rise. Been talking about it for a good long while now. The quality of his at bats, the way the ball is jumping off of his bat. It's number 8 for Russell. A slider that didn't slide a whole lot. Cement mixer. Foltynewicz continues to be plagued by the home run ball. It's 17 allowed. 80 2/3 innings this year.
1-1 on Fowler. 2 homers for the Cubs. Rizzo, number 24. Russell, number 8. A single for Fowler in the 3rd. Extended his hitting streak to 8 games. And he's scored now 80 runs on the year. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. Addison Russell, a 2-out blast. And the Cubs now lead 5-0.
MLS returns to CSN Chicago as the Fire take on the Colorado Rapids. Coverage starts at 7 on Comcast Sports Net. The Rapids and the Fire.
Good buzz in the ballpark tonight. Peterson swings and misses. Came over in the Justin Upton deal in December from San Diego. Played 2 sports at McNeese State. He's a defensive back with 2 years on the football team there in college. Here it is. 2-2. 4-0 Pirates, bottom 7 over the Giants in Pittsburgh. Toward right, and that'll get in for a base hit. He's 2 for 2.
There's not been a putout made by an outfielder for the Cubs tonight. All the outs have been on the ground or a strikeout. Peterson has stolen 10 bases, but he's also been caught 10 times.
It's not a good percentage. And he takes off. Called strike throw is late. 20th steal allowed with Jake Arrieta on the mound.
So that answers your question about how Carlos Tosca would play. So last inning we had the middle of the order guys up. He was kind of laying back, hoping that they would do some damage. Now as he gets down toward the bottom of the order, it's going to be a little more aggressive, take some chances on the bases, try to generate something against Arrieta.
Is a strike on Simmons. 0-2.
In protect mode, Simmons just gets a piece of that 95. Braves just 2 years removed from the season in which they won 96 games to win the East. 96 and 66 in 2013. 4 games below 500 last year, and obviously well off the pace this year.
Bryant, who made an error earlier, takes care of Simmons. Peterson holding at second.
'96 wins. They finished first. Last year, second, despite that sub 500 record. It's been a weak division and really weak again this year. Especially with the Nationals not being anywhere close to what we thought they would be.
strike on Bourne. Joe Sheehan wrote today about divisions. The National League East is on pace to be the first division ever to lose 57% of its games against everybody outside that division, so against the rest of baseball. The National League Central has the best inter-division winning percentage, and the NL East has the worst. The Mets went 0-13 against the Cubs and the Pirates combined, for instance.
The Mets are 8 games better than 500. The Nationals just 1 game better.
Go to third. Peterson read it well, and he gets in on a wild pitch. There has been, I saw somebody the other day think we should go to AL, NL and just take the top teams from each league, get rid of divisions completely. Would you be in favor if somebody asked you to vote?
I don't know. I'd have to take a look at it, think it over some. So you're trading off some of the divisional rivalries. You're making the
Play everybody
playoff
twice at home and on the road, say, right? Balance the schedule like they used to anyway.
Yeah, I love the old 2-division format. Everybody played the same schedule within your division. The problem now is with interleague play and everything else, you're not playing the same exact schedule as your main competitors. So that's one of the sacrifices that they've made to popularize the game with interleague play.
So if you're the Cubs and you're in third place in your division, this year you'd rather just have it be the National League, right?
So what would you take the top 5 teams?
You might finish with a better record than the winner of the East and the West.
Right. Or do you keep the divisions but then reseed when you come to the postseason based on overall record? But then you get into that whole strength of competition again. The bottom 3 in the NL East would be Atlanta, Miami, and Philly have combined to go 62 games below 500.
Well, if you did that in the NL Central, one of those 3 teams would be the Cubs, who are 16 over.
Right.
In fact, I just did the math. The bottom 3 teams in the NL Central are 18 under. What did you say, 60 some?
62 under for the bottom 3 in the NL East.
I mean, essentially, if you got rid of divisions and just had 2 leagues, you'd never have. Was it the Padres who made it at 82 and 81 year? That just wouldn't happen.
That was the 73 Mets were barely over 500.
Cardinals won 83 games and ended up winning the World Series. And here's why I'd be in favor of just going to the leagues. If you're going to have the crapshoot that is October and the randomness of October, if we can limit that a little bit in the regular season. So if there's one horrible division where, God forbid, somebody goes 79 and 83 and wins a division, and then that team wins the World Series. No, I wouldn't want that.
You're
to
not
happen
in favor
in the sport.
of that. You don't want that Cinderella storyline.
No.
But there's that
because
appeals
somebody's
to
going to win
people.
100 and they're going to go, well, the best team in baseball won 79 games.
No, the team that won the World Series. Not the best team in baseball.
Right. Nobody really does that after the fact. They don't hand out a trophy for the team everybody thinks is the best.
Well, what's it? And hockey does, right? What's the other? They have a
President's Trophy.
Yeah.
It's the regular season. Interesting. Fultonevich will take the at bat. Could have been possibly a pinch hit situation here with a 5-0 score. So first walk issued by Arrieta. Bunts through it.
Doesn't look real comfortable up there trying to bunt. Arrieta's not an easy guy to bunt against anyway.
Runner goes from first. That's Bourne, and he'll get the bag without a throw.
That's the advantage of having that kind of speed in the 8-hole. If you get the sense that your pitcher's going to have a hard time getting a bunt down, go ahead and just steal the base.
First steal with the Braves since the trade for Bourne, and number 323 in his career.
Interesting. I think this is something mechanical, I'm guessing. We got the opposing pitcher in the batter's box, 2-1. Maybe not happy with the pitch selection. He's probably saying, hey, that's no Daniel Norris up there.
Well, was that an impressive swing of the bat?
First professional at bat for the Tigers' young starting pitcher last night. He hit a home run. Left-handed off of John Lester. John was not at his best last night, but that's something that kid will be able to brag about for a long time.
Smooth swing.
Coming out of the game because of a strained oblique. Did not pitch 5 innings, so he did not earn the W. So, a mixed bag for him. Fultonevich hanging in there. He's gone full with Arrieta here.
Terrell pounced on it, but picked it up in foul territory. This time he got him. So 2 outs.
Pitch count's getting to be a bit of an issue, isn't it?
91 and counting here in the 5th inning for Arrieta. Former Baltimore teammates. Arrieta to Markakis and a strike. Ground ball to the shortstop, Russell. The inning is over. A single, a walk, 2 steals, a wild pitch, but still no runs for the visitors. Players ringside after the game September 2nd for an unforgettable night of amateur boxing. Great food and giving back to Chicago's youth. Located at the Ravenswood Events Center, Madden's main event will feature local youth boxers at various skill levels, as well as a special main event bout. For tickets and details, visit CubsCharities.com. Kyle Schwarber takes ball 1. And Foltynewicz. A long rain delay in Baltimore. Now underway. Twins and Orioles scoreless, bottom 1.
Green light him. I don't believe that was a strike.
Ball 4. Angels go for the 4-game sweep, and they host the White Sox tonight. Not yet gotten underway. Quintana and Tropiano will match up. Angels are a half game ahead of Baltimore. The second wild card, 1.5 up on Texas. Rangers are in Detroit. Line into the right field corner. Schwarber around second, on his way to third. Gary Jones says, "Come on home, son." Coughlin on his way to third. He's got a triple. He tripled last night off the bench, and he makes it 6-0 tonight.
The category of stepping on somebody's neck Braves had a couple opportunities to score. Jake Arrieta has shut him down. The Cubs have come back and scored in each of the last 2 innings to add on to that 4-run third. Solo home run by Russell in the 4th. Now Schwarber walks. Ogden does what he's been doing so well. That is making very good contact. Triples him home. So Braves let Fulton Evans take that at bat in the top of the inning with a couple men on base. And immediately in trouble. Now they got the bullpen humming.
Kirahan, the Cub farmhand, is up in their bullpen, and they'll bring the infield in.
Braves have set a record this year. They've used 56 players. I think I counted 29 or 30 different pitchers.
Swing and a miss. Our Xfinity high-speed action. Bang. Line shot. Deep to right. 3-run homer.
An impressive swing of the bat. Smart hitting, too. If you think back to his first at-bat, they were trying to work him in with those 2-seam fastballs. He ultimately walked in his first plate appearance. That time he was sitting on that heater.
Changeup misses outside. Anthony had cooled off a bit the last 3 days after that sizzling 2-week plus stretch. He's gotten it back quickly with a walk and a 3-run homer. Foul tip, strike 3.
Cholula, a runner at 97.
Infield still in. Coughlin at third, 1 out. Bryant takes strike 1. Hendricks for the Cubs tomorrow afternoon here on CSN. Shelby Miller will go for the Braves. He's got a 2.43 ERA and he's 5-9. Got a long winless streak, I believe, working as well. Starts without a win.
Is that right?
Check on that. It's a note I had.
He's just behind Jake, or 5th in the league in ERA.
An all-star this year. His last win came on May 17th. Called strike 3.
Thought that ball was a little bit off the plate, so Brzezinski pull it back a little bit.
Infield back with 2 outs. Project to go 16 starts, covering 3 months. 0-8 with a 3.03. Guessing you wouldn't feel too good about it. That's deep, and it is off the wall. Coghlan scores. Montero to second. He's got a sliding double. It's 7-0.
Foltynewicz was able to get a couple of punch outs after the Coghlan triple, but Montero jumped him. Carlos Tosca coming out of the Braves dugout. That's going to be it for the big righty. He had gotten very fastball dependent there. Montero likes to hit the heater. Went down and got it.
Pitching change here in the 5th. We'll be back. Andrew McKirahan. Atlanta took him in the Rule 5 draft last December from the Cubs, but then on April 20th, he ended up getting suspended. PED suspension, 80 games. Check that, he was taken by the Marlins in the Rule 5. Then the Braves got him on waivers on April 1st.
Activated off that suspended list July 20th. 5.28 ERA and 13 appearances for the Braves.
Down by Przinsky, 7-0 Cubs here in the 5th.
Cubs shut down on Sunday by Chris Sale, but when you go back through their game log last couple of weeks, of course during that long winning streak, routine bases, 5+ runs per night. That's the key, boy. That consistent. You don't have to score 15, but putting 4, 5, 6 runs on the board with regularity, especially with starting pitching as good as it has been. Now bumping the road here lately, but it's going to add up to a lot of wins. Przinsky couldn't help himself. He tried to frame that one for a strike, even though they're putting an intentional walk on.
Didn't he frame a bounce pitch recently?
He did.
So there's ball 4.
Just pull it into the zone. But and you know the other piece of it there, if you're the hitter in that situation, be ready. You get a pitch close to the plate, go ahead and take a whack at it.
Miguel Cabrera did that once a few years ago when he was with the Marlins. He got a little careless and he smacked one into right. Low and in on Arrieta. Well, 5 innings in the books for him, so he can qualify for win number 15. Playing stopper tonight after the Cubs had won 9 in a row and dropped their last 3. Carahan, a 21st round pick of the Cubs in the 2011 draft out of the University of Texas, born in Austin.
Program turns out a lot of players, doesn't it?
Yep. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. Cubs add 2 to their lead and knock the Braves starter out of the game 7-0. Chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Hopefully they sat in the right seats. Jonathan Herrera is in to play third. Remember, Bryant fouled a ball off himself earlier. Don't know if that's the issue or just the big lead. As Maben takes a strike. It's over in Pittsburgh 4-0. Pirates over the Giants. We were talking before the game. Who do you root for if you're the Cubs?
Fans are twisted in knots here because the Giants just got done playing the Cardinals.
I think ultimately when push comes to shove, if you have to pick one team over the other, I think you'd rather put as much space between yourself and the team behind you. I'd say the Pirates would be the team you'd root for. Slider called, strike 3. But that's doesn't mean I'm right. That just would be the way I would look at it.
Yeah, well, yeah. If the ultimate goal is to make the playoffs, you want to get some separation from the team right behind you. But past the Pirates, you got a chance to host that wild card game. Really, the thing about it is, and this is like, fans. I was talking to a guy in my building the other day. He goes, I haven't been watching. I said, why not? Because the Cubs are in a winning streak, so I'm not watching.
What?
Yeah, he felt like he was going to jinx the team if he was watching. I get that. I remember as a kid doing that. I was a fan of the Knicks for a while, and it seemed like every time I'd watch them, they'd go in the tank. So I said, all right, I'm not going to watch them. Fan, short for fanatic.
Well,
you do irrational things.
Here's the problem with the not watching because they're winning. If you really like the team, part of being a fan is actually watching them.
Yeah, I'm not. There's no logic behind any of this.
I appreciate the sacrifice, but I would say it's not necessary.
Taking one for the team.
What's that, Joyce? Oh, they won the World Series? Oh, okay, cool.
Good.
Nice to know.
I'm happy I was able to contribute.
Been a Cub fan since 1933, and I missed it. They only win when I don't watch.
Couldn't bring him down.
One and two to Freeman.
Well, given the score and the pitch count, this could well be Jake's last inning. No sense pushing it here tonight. Bullpen's been worked hard the last couple of days, so you're hoping to get more.
Swing and a miss for strike three. So the other big series for us to watch this weekend is the Giants and the Pirates. That is up to date. That is a rematch of last year's wild card game. Pirates lost 8-0 to the Giants. Brendan Crawford with a big grand slam in that one. I'm told, by the way, all of our graphics, particularly the ones involving teams that may be playing around the time we're playing, they are all up to date except the ones that are not. Got it?
I'm with you.
Base hit right field.
Third time Brzezinski has hit the ball on the ground to the right side. This time he finds a hole. Big double play last time up. Started by Rizzo.
Russell, the little flip, Coghlan covering, and that will end the inning. 7-0 Cubs in the sixth. Charities. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. Visit Cubs.com/authentics to bid on weekly auction items and to pre-order game-used bases and baseballs. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics items to Cubs Charities. We believe Jake Arrieta is done after 6 fine innings of work. It would be his 12th consecutive quality start. 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts.
I saw a long conversation that Joe Maddon was having with him. I think Joe was just making his case as to why he was pulling. So yeah, I know you're going along nicely, but you got a 7-run lead. Why push it? We might need you to push it next time out.
Russell a single and a homer from the 9 spot. In the air the other way. Markakis has it. Since August 4th, Cubs have now scored at least 5 runs 12 different times. Two 2-0 to Fowler. All right-handers in terms of starting pitchers for the entire series. Fowler with a base hit. Second of the night. I mentioned Miller and Hendricks tomorrow. Williams, Perez, Dan Herron on Saturday. Matt Whistler and Jason Hamill on Sunday.
Nice to see the bats continue to swing it well here at the beginning of American Legion Week. If you weren't with us earlier, Joe Maddon has declared it American Legion Week. He's got a sign up in the clubhouse, meaning like when you're a kid playing American Legion ball, you don't have all the prep time, you don't take batting practice, you don't spend hours at the ballpark, you just show up at the field and play. Cubs had come out here tonight and got shut down. People might have said, hey, wait a minute, you should have taken BP. You need to get all that extra work in. Pretty good evidence here tonight that BP is overrated. That's been the storyline all year long. This club hits on the field pregame less than any club I've ever been around by a long shot. And guys still go down and get their swings in the cage.
Well, let's hear from Joe on the idea of eliminating batting practice.
Certain things that we do in this game that I think are overrated, and I think batting practice is one of them. Swinging way too much. If they need to get loose, they could go get loose down in the cage a little bit. They don't need to swing on the field. Ground balls, they've taken a ton of those. They could play catch. They could get run and get loose. So I really think that sometimes we play that up a little bit too much. I'd much prefer a fresh mind and body right now.
Amen. And on the hand, Schwarber fights it off.
I'm going to show up at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, we start at 3. That would be a bad idea.
Well, when we do, it's a day. I'm going to show up at 2 o'clock
Okay.
tomorrow.
I think you should.
I'll do my part of the open on the cell phone from Lakeshore Drive. problem is if you come to the ballpark too late, you get hung up in all the traffic.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to say there is a point of no return. I wouldn't push it too much. Here it is, pulled foul. I did on the road once have a buddy who was not really in on the baseball routine. He sent me a text, said, "Hey, can you have dinner tonight before the game?" I said, "Well, no, I have to be at the ballpark." He said, "But the game starts at 7, right?" I said, "Yeah." Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, what time do you have to be there? I said, "I'll be there about 3:30. "What? I thought you showed up at 10 minutes to first pitch." No.
Ty Cobb once took a vacation during the season, like 1911, somewhere like that.
Took games off.
He just left the team for a while because he figured they were out of the race. Just went on a little vacation. I'm guessing he's not the only one that did. The game was different back in the day.
I bet Twitter blew up when he did that.
Where's Cobb?
Hashtag where's Cobb? Well, one of the unwritten rules, Dexter Fowler always would be held on by Freddie Freeman in this spot, but it's 7-0 in the 6th inning. So the message here is we don't hold you on, you don't run.
And he's not playing all the way behind him and shadowing him a little bit, so he's got just increasing his range a little bit with Coughlin up there. Pulled the ball twice tonight.
Lined and caught by leaping Simmons. The ball struck well by Chris Coughlin. 7-0 after 6. Elgin Toyota. 3 more against the Braves. Makeup game against the Indians on Monday, and then off to California. The Giants and the Dodgers. Jake Arrieta, 12 straight quality starts, trying to improve to 9-1 during this stretch, and his major league leading 15th win. More changes for the Cubs. Castro into play second, and Travis Wood will pitch.
And the other two left-handers worked in the ball game last night, Clayton Richard and James Russell. They both threw a ton of pitches, so neither one of those guys would be available here tonight. Travis Wood good to go. He'll face 6, 7, 8 here in the top half of the 7th. Jake Arrieta got 18 outs tonight, 11 on the ground, 7 punch outs.
Peterson cuts and misses. Tigers shut out Texas 4-0. They try to stay in the wild card race over in the American League. Schwarber makes the play.
Maybe that's why Joe made the pitching change, so the outfielders will get some action. From Arrieta, the ground ball guy, to Travis Wood, who's a fly ball pitcher. .107 pitches for Arrieta tonight, 75 for strikes. Again, if it's a tighter ball game, he's probably still in the ball game, but a comfortable lead, chance to save some bullets. 2 big starts coming up against the Giants and the Dodgers.
Ross Detweiler, left-hander up for Atlanta. Two strikes to Simmons. Here it comes. It's outside. Fastball at 92. Red Sox beat the Royals 4-1 at Fenway. Their 3rd consecutive win. 2-2. Finishing up a 4-game series in Houston. Rays 1-0 in the 8th.
Astros with just 1 hit in that ball game.
Tampa Bay won game 1 9-2, and then the Astros 3-2 winners in extras the last 2 nights.
Chris Archer dialing up a dandy for the Rays. 7 innings of 1-hit shutout ball.
Cubs suggest the use of public transportation, or for bike riders, use the Cubs courtesy bike check. For drivers, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. Bourne the hitter, 1-out single for Simmons. Bourne has played over 1,000 games in center field, under 100 in left, but that's where he is now with Maben entrenched in center.
And sometimes that's a difficult transition. You know, center field is, you have more responsibility, more coverage out there. But it's a different angle. And a lot of guys that played a lot of center field and moved to left will tell you that. It all comes off the bat a little bit differently. Tough to get a read sometimes.
Castro, the flip. Russell couldn't get anything on it. And Bourne pretty easily beats the relay throw.
Bourne's always been a tough guy to double, one of the fastest guys in the league, and you have to do everything just right. Said from Starlin, a little soft, but it would have been a tough 2 anyway. You got to just make sure you get one. Don't open up any doors here with a big lead.
Braves have been pretty decent off the bench. There's Johnny Gomes, pinch hitting. Active major league leader with 10 pinch hit home runs.
A little surprised he's still in a Brave uniform. He's the kind of guy that somebody might want to add to their bench for a late push. Still may happen.
Swing and a miss. A strike 3 time for the 7th inning stretch.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, chef and TV personality Ann Burrell.
All right, Chicago fans, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, so let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get to run, let's win, Cubbies! Woo!
A strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to Northside Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Ross Detweiler is on. And strike on Anthony Rizzo.
Detweiler had just joined the Braves when we saw them right after the All-Star break. Veteran lefty. He had been with the Rangers spending a good bit with the Washington Nationals.
.6'3", 215. Born in St. Louis, went to Missouri State. Ross Detweiler. Ross Emery Detweiler.
Herr Detweiler.
All Cubs tonight. Ground ball. Detweiler's got a cover as Freeman will underhand to him. And one out. Paid crowd 34,633.
There's been a lot of turnover in the Braves bullpen, beginning with the trade of Craig Kimbrell, of course, to the Padres.
That was the night before they opened the season.
Jason Grilli took over as the closer, was going along nicely, got injured. Bullpen ERA of 4.32 for the Braves, 14th of the 15 National League teams.
Yeah, just among the pitchers the Braves have used this year who are no longer with them: Luis Avilan, Jim Johnson, Jason Grilli, Alex Wood, Trevor Cahill, who's now AAA with the Cubs. Herrera cuts and misses. First plate appearance for him tonight. He got him.
Extra giddy up on that fastball at 94 miles an hour. Cub fans, weekday mornings, there's no better place to turn for the latest sports news and opinion than the Cap and Haw Show on CSN Chicago, hosted by David Kaplan and Tribune writer David Haw. It's the only AM sports talk TV show in town. Don't miss the Cap and Haw Show, presented by Horwitz and Associates, weekday mornings at 9 on Comcast Sports Net.
Yes, this made news on the Rockies website. Ben Paulson, who had a big bushy beard, has shaved it due to a mishap. He said he took too much off the left side.
Yeah.
He was trimming it.
It'd be a vicious cycle.
Once you make a big mistake like that, you got to go for it.
Mm-hmm. That's how I ended up with my current hairstyle.
Montero grounds out. Man, I wanted to hear all the details of that story, too. Hate to start one with 2 outs, though. 7-0 Cubs. Comcast Sportsnet. Brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Make sure you visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. And follow Patrick at CSN Mooney, his Twitter handle. Always great to see Chip Carey back here at Wrigley Field, and with Joe Simpson on Braves television. Travis Wood, scoreless 7th on 1 hit, and he'll come back out for the 8th. Let's do Shep and TV personality Ann Burrell conducting the stretch tonight. Kakis has grounded out all 3 times. Final in Cincinnati. Arizona beat the Reds 5-4. Another ball on the ground. This one will get through the hole and into right. Patrick Corbin only went 2 innings in that game, so Diamondbacks bullpen had to cover the final 7, which they did without a run.
Bit of a floating changeup that Wood just threw. Markakis kind of telegraphed it. Diamondback club can put up some runs. It'll be an interesting team to watch in the next couple of years. They've got good young position players able to develop or acquire some frontline pitching, capable of taking a big step forward. Maven had been swinging a hot bat. Nothing for 3 here tonight. 28 years of age. Kind of, he's a former first-round pick. High expectations. Has not yet reached his potential, but this could be the beginning of a good run for him. And a pretty good year.
Anibal Sanchez has a rotator cuff sprain. We just saw him in a range shortened start. He's on the DL. David strikes out.
Yeah, good change up there. Left that one up a little bit to Markakis, but a dandy there. So I think this part of the plan here too, with Travis having this big lead, working a couple innings, mixing it up a little bit, mixing in some change-ups.
That liner I was talking about, but he hit it over Russell this time. Let's count on a couple of those per series when we see the Braves. Freddie Freeman. Do you know how many triples Evan Gattis has?
A lot.
9.
Yeah. And he has no stolen bases.
In his career, he has no steals. Yeah. He has 9 triples for the Astros.
Yeah. It's a really interesting factoid. We normally associate triples with speed guys. Steal at least an occasional base. But not Sandlot Slugger. He just pounds it.
Brzezinski 1 for 3. First and second, 1 out. We're in the 8th. Braves with 7 hits, but no runs to this point. Our AT&T U-verse multi-view. 3 guys with beards. Not a big shocker these days. On the outside corner, AJ not a fan.
Defensive swing there, fighting that one off. Another good pitch by Wood. That one right over the outside corner. Tough pitch for a left-handed hitter to handle. Especially if you're worried about that breaking ball.
So remember playoffs in 05? The AJ Brzezinski dropped third strike. He went to first. Josh Paul said he caught it. Doug Eddings ruled he didn't.
Don't remember that.
Very controversial play in that ALCS. And the White Sox would, as you know, go on and win the World Series. Brzezinski got to first. Pablo Ozuna pinch ran for him and then scored on Joe Creedy's game-winning hit. Pretty sure you can replay that now, right? The ball hit the dirt on foul. I don't know if we've seen one though.
I don't know.
Wow, how about this? Got a good staff down there with video. So he was headed back to the dugout and then had the presence of mind to run to first. Yeah, then he knows all the angles. Say, was Escobar called for obstruction? There were a couple of weird plays in the postseason, and AJ got the benefit of the doubt. And he almost leaned into one right there. And it was Eddings who made the call at first. So they have attached at the hip. And some interesting calls. It's a foul. Long at bat here against Travis Wood.
It's not an atypical Brzezinski at bat. Tends to see a lot of pitches, fights off tough pitches, stays in the at bat. Ultimately, he doesn't walk that much, doesn't strike out that much. He's likely to put it in play.
Ball 4.
Close enough to swing at.
Yep. So they are loaded, and that will be it for Travis. So pitching change here in the 8th. Bases loaded. Here comes Justin Grimm. One out of Adonis Garcia is a hitter.
Grimm just having a fantastic year, pitching to a 1.30 ERA. Big strikeout numbers, 52 of those in 34 2/3. He has the 5th highest strikeout rate among all pitchers in baseball with at least 30 innings pitched. Mid-90s and beyond heater and that sharp curveball. I've got a little Elaine Bennis sighting in the house.
Dancing to a song only she can hear. Actually, I think we caught that earlier. During the pitching change. In all fairness, could not get him to chase.
So I mentioned Grimm's strikeout rate, 38% of the batters he has faced, he has struck out. Bested only by Carter Capps, guy with the Marlins that throws 100 with a funky delivery. Kenley Jansen, Aroldis Chapman, and Dylan Betances of the Yankees.
Possible trouble here. Nope, he's going to get over there. Soler with the catch. Runner tags. Good throw to the plate. So the shutout broken as Markakis is in, but the key is just to grab some outs here late. So 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, avoid a big number. Little blowout here on the tag by Markakis. Slips off the top of the base.
Quite sure why Freeman didn't advance. The throw going through. That's a strike 97. Easy gas. 1-2.
You don't want to overextend Grimm here tonight. He's become a very important part of that bullpen.
It in front of the plate. Giving up 2 earned runs his last 21 appearances, covering 17 innings. Some DL time early in the year with the right forearm inflammation. Fly ball to left. Schwarber drifts back, and he makes the catch to end the inning. The Braves get 1, and that is all. 7-1 Cubs late.
MLB.com at bat. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet.
Former Cub David Aardsma.
A long baseball journey for Aardsma. Starting with the Giants way back in 04. First round pick of them in 2003. He's been a Cub, a White Sox, a Red Sox, a Mariner, a Yankee, a Met. Minor league time with the Marlins and the Cardinals.
One strike on Soler. We were having fun with Aardsma in Atlanta. In the list of major league players all time, he is alphabetically #1 ahead of Hank Aaron. And I said it'd be fun if you added an A to that name. AAA, RD. Someone tweeted during that game, I didn't mention it. You should just have a son and name him Aaron. You'd be in pretty good shape, wouldn't you?
to make sure he was the first.
Aaron Aardsma. Here's Castro with his first at bat. Eury Perez now playing right. Marquez. By the way, Chris Bryant left the game in the sixth inning only because of the score. Nothing to do with any sort of injury or anything. Breaking ball was up. Castro fouled it.
Tommy Hunter will get the ninth.
Chris Archer went the distance tonight for the Rays. Their first complete game by a starter in a year. 1-0. It was a complete game, one hitter as they beat the Astros.
I wonder if the hit was clean and when it happened.
Well, we have friends there. We can ask.
First shutout of his career.
Have you even thought about getting out your suitcase? We're in day 15 of 19 here at home before heading out west.
No, not even close.
Are you a last minute?
Yes. I mentally pack a day or so before.
But you'll be packing at 8 o'clock Monday morning. In the air to center. Easy play for Maben. I am told by a good source in Houston, Colby Rasmus with a leadoff hit in the fifth, a seeing eye single to right.
But no controversy.
Doesn't sound like it.
You hear the story about Brian Cashman and Derek Jeter?
I heard the part where Cashman told him like 5 years ago
it was after
that he'd rather have Troy Tulowitzki as a shortstop.
They were negotiating, and negotiations got a little contentious apparently. And Jeter asked Cashman who he would rather have playing shortstop for the Yankees, and Cashman said Troy Tulowitzki among others. Good stuff.
Do we know how that came out? Is it in a book or something?
Sports Illustrated, apparently.
Nice play there by Peterson, and Freeman stayed on the bag, and that'll end the inning. Let's go to the ninth. Cubs 7, Braves 1. game is Jake Arrieta.
Cubs got walloped here the last 2 nights by that Tiger lineup. Jake Arrieta came out here. Obviously the Brave team did not have the firepower that the Tigers have, but shutdown performance by Arrieta. 6 scoreless here tonight. Allowed 4 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Barely let a ball out of the infield after a loss last year in this. Big Jake now 12-3 in 25 such starts with a 2.29 ERA. He has made his 12th consecutive quality start this year. Travis Wood, an inning and a third of 1-run ball. Justin Grimm, 2/3 scoreless. And now Tommy Hunter to finish things off here in the 9th.
Simmons rifles one into left for a base hit. The second hit.
Tomorrow, Kyle Hendricks will pitch for the Cubs against Shelby Miller.
Ground ball sharply hit. Castro the feed, Russell the turn, and they can't do it. Not against Michael Bourne.
Nice play by Castro, but again with Bourne going down the line, awfully tough to get to.
Nick Swisher, the son of former Cub Steve Swisher. Off the bench to pinch hit. And a strike. Mentioned knee issues. He used to be a guy who'd play 150 games every year. Not been the case these last couple of seasons. Cleveland and now here in Atlanta. He's always had good on-base skills. He'll take a walk. He could usually count on 22 to 30 home runs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Couldn't catch up to 98. 2 down here in the 9th.
Yeah, I think he came into this at bat just looking to do some damage. Want to take some big swings and trying to run into one, and have to run into 98 when it's shoulder high.
Yuri Perez now 2 outs. Strike 1 on Perez. Bourne on his way to second. He'll have to retreat on the foul. Well played by the Cubs tonight. After getting swept by Detroit. Bourne will take second, pitch in the dirt, no steal.
That's that old saw about the momentum, being the next day's starting pitcher. And hand the ball to the likes of Arrieta, usually good things happen. Cubs got it done offensively again tonight. 4-run third inning highlighted by a 3-run bomb from Anthony Rizzo. It's too bad managers have the responsibility of meeting with the media after the game. Freddie Gonzalez, who was run from this game very early, he could have gone out and had a nice steak. Enjoyed this beautiful night in Chicago.
Guessing it wouldn't go over too well if someone snapped a photo of him at Rosebud or something in the 7th inning. Put it on Twitter. Perez went, strike 3, Cubs win. Cubs win 7-1 the final.
A nice bounce back win. All phases here, solid defensively. Big swings of the bat, outstanding work by Arrieta, solid work by the bullpen. The Atlanta Braves have now lost 19 of their last 21 road games. American Legion Week off to a very good start here.
Cubs have won 3 of the first 4 in the season series. We still have 3 more to go this weekend.
I'm anxious to see Kyle Hendricks. Struggled last time out. He's been in a little bit of a downturn. He's been tweaking his mechanics some, so hopefully he's got that straightened out.
Cubs improved to 68-51.
And they'll gain a game on the Giants.
Got 4 ahead of the Giants and still 4 behind the Pittsburgh Pirates. So right in the middle, but that's okay. They're in the second wild card spot at the moment.
So they're playing a 4-game series as well, right, in Pittsburgh. So that, yep. Ideally, right, they split that 4-gamer and the Cubs sweep the Braves. There's your headline.
All right, JD, I'll see you at 2. And our fans will join us at 2:30 for our Game 2 coverage.
I'll be here at 2:25.
Here at Comcast Sportsnet. Final score, Cubs 7 and the Braves 1. Game 2 again. 3 o'clock start, and we're on the air at 2:30 here on CSN. For JD and our entire crew here at Wrigley Field, this is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live next.